feel it when it's beating steady. It's steady thumping while you breathing heavy. That power muscle keeps that blood flowing. He keeps it going, so we'll get to know him. The son of the father, so many never get to know. Or accept the only reason he let his blood flow. So many deceptions that we can't seem to understand, but the truth is coming because of Yahweh's master plan. The heartbeat of Yah was there in the beginning, the Alpha, Omega, before we started sinning. He knew us, he formed us, he made us in his image. He synced his heartbeat to ours, and that's why we're still living. The struggle of this life has led us all astray like Cain. But with the choice to serve ourselves, who else can we blame? The two greatest laws are love for God and love for man. But by choosing self over both, we defy his commands. He's loving, he's patient, not willing we should suffer. Repentance, confession, in the name of our big brother. Protection, salvation is all the Father offers. Confusion and damnation is what's reserved for the scoffers. He wants a relationship with you, just let him near. Listen closely to this track, you hear him in your ear. The first beat you feel is an echo coming from his throne. The second one is the proof you're not living life alone. Just take that breath so that you can receive. His Ruach is dripping, so just believe. That love of Yah will put you in the zone. So get that fire shut up in your bones. Got all the results of sin, even till today. That's why he made the plan of salvation to make a way. Emptied all of heaven in one eternal sacrifice, just so that he could spend time with us in paradise. He struggled and he strived to get human attention, even repented himself of his wayward invention. Washed the world of iniquity cause of satanic heists. Sent prophets, warnings, and miracles, and even sent us Christ. His heart stays pumping grace and mercy to the hearts of the souls that are caught up in this controversy. Heeding doctrines of devils and wandering after beasts, trying to get them a glimpse of light before they are deceased. We don't know how much we mean to him, we don't recognize how soon he's coming back to get us when he parts the skies. Take the time to seek truth and learn what we don't really know. He'll make a way out of no way by letting his blood flow. We don't know how much we mean to him, we don't recognize how soon he's coming back to get us when he parts the skies. Take the time to seek truth and learn what we don't really know. He'll make a way out of no way by letting his blood flow.
Hey, welcome. This is Real Talk 101, Double Exposed here on Sunday afternoon, 2 to 4. Your hosts are back in the building. My name is Mr. Bradley Trammell. Mr. Orlando Boyd is to my left. And again, we back in here for another week to talk about past revelations, conversations, things we've experienced, man, readings in the Word. And we just come in and we chop them up real loud. We don't hold no cut cards. We don't hold nothing back. We talk about everything as it is and as it was, because it's important to be as real as we can and not to be fake in these last days, and we see a lot of that. If this is your first time joining us, we ask you to go ahead and say a silent word of prayer to yourself, asking for the indwelling of the Holy Spirit, or the Ruach HaKodesh, so that you may be able to discern what is true and what is false, and even greater than that, you'll obtain some wisdom. Because the Ruach works that way. He might bring you something today that you might not fully understand, but slowly reveal it to you over time. He's done that with us several times, and he keeps on doing it, so I know he can do it for y'all. But ask for that spirit, no matter what. Whether you're just listening to him right now or just going about your day, always ask for the Holy Spirit. That's a good thing to do. It's a good practice. But usually start off the show, you know what I'm saying, with the prayer requests. Say a word of prayer, we testify, and we jump into today's message. And today's message is similar like it's been other times, straight from the Ruach, meaning whatever the Ruach puts on our hearts to discuss, that is what we will discuss. I love doing that because it takes the pressure off us to try to give you a word from our hearts and our minds, which really ain't that important. What is important is a word from the Most High, and hopefully today you get that. So yeah, how's it going today, bro? What's going on with you?
Man, I'm here. You know, do got a few prayer requests that are actually, on my mind.
Okay.
Michi told me, family, friends, calling my cousins, man. Anthony and Jody, their mother passed. They got a sister too. I can't remember Shawty's name, but I believe she was a Harper. They Watsons, but I think she was a Harper. But the Harper Watson family, they lost their mother last week, I believe. I ain't talked to him, text Lamar last night. This morning, he got, what I'm saying, he was fighting COVID.
Oh
So,
shit. Yeah, lift him up.
that brother up. And went to see my man, went out on my man Jarrell property and talking to his father. And he just shared me to his brother. And it's funny because Jarrell didn't mention it. He mentioned something else about his uncle, but he didn't mention, his father was like his brother, whose name is Kenny, and his cousin, whose name is Wendell. Hold up. Wendell. Yeah, they both in the hospital with tumors on their brain.
Dang.
He said Wendell's was because of some, I want to say, man, had something to do with drinking or whatever. They trying some experimental treatment on one of them. I'm not going to, they both in the hospital with tumors on their brain.
Gotcha.
So, Wendell and Kenny, the Hop and Watson family, and Lamar, even though I know there's more.
There's always more.
There's always more, myself personally, my health, I ain't gonna go into that. I'll go into that at the end. But yeah, those four. Other than that, I mean, testimony. It's amazing. Your conversation, and I don't even know if I should go into that yet. But I'll start it up.
Okay.
The conversation that me and you had, that you went into last week. How the Most High told you, don't go. You know what I'm saying? Don't make that move. That between that and two conversations I had last week with Damon, with my man Jarrell, really, man, Damon got a tendency to just go.
Yeah, he do.
The Most High let him loose. It ain't him.
Yeah,
he gets relentless with it, And Youngin pulled that whip out over the phone on me, and I was just, some stuff was just made clear. Like, he told you don't go. He's been telling me stop. You know what I'm saying? But I was thinking about, even that's why I couldn't talk. I couldn't respond. Because a nigga like me would have went. Some money spent. You know what I'm saying? And I would have just had to do. But that's what my life has been up to this point. I'm going to just do it. And I'm not saying do it. Or I'm not giving advice. I'm just saying up to this point in my life. And I really had to start second thinking that. It's easy to, when you feel the evil, you can feel it around you. It brings itself to you. It's easy to get away from it. But when you run to it, you get yourself in a position and then you just like, I'm going to go over here with the evil at. Nah, you asking to get your, you know what I'm saying, get broke off something. And we do it too often. But Yahweh's merciful. I open the Amos 7. I'm not going to go into that right now. This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, there will be, man.
But Lamar, Kenny and Wendell, and the Watson Hopper family.
And my joint saying ain't too different. All praise to the Most High. He's eased me off of that. That man, my flesh. I ain't never felt my flesh be so frustrated because of that decision. But I knew it was right. And what I get into it just a little bit now. I was going to do something off my own strength, off of what I wanted to do, and the Most High slowly counseled against that in the weeks after I had booked everything. I booked this trip or whatever. And I was finding which way to deny it, try to silence the voice. Like, nah, man, I'm gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Then I open his word. This is what sets me straight. This joint right here, this is the guidebook. Because as soon as I opened that and he told me where to go in the book and just to start reading. And I read it last week. That's Ruach 2. If y'all, follow the programs, go back to last week, you'll catch the full 9. But the thing was, what was the base of the decision I made was the fact that I ain't gonna have no peace, bruh. We done read about Jonah too many times. We done read about too many people in the Word who ran and did opposite of what the Most High said. They ain't never turned out well, because you can't escape the Most High. It'd be different if you could hide yourself from him. It'd be different if you could hide your thoughts, your feelings, your actions from him, but you can't do that. So when he says don't do something and you expect to have the blessing as if he didn't say what he said, you fooling yourself. You're putting yourself on dangerous ground. And if it were not for his limitless grace and mercy, which he chooses to impart to each and every one of us, it could be your last your last moments on the planet, man, for real. So yeah, it is that. But as far as prayer requests concerned, pray for my cousin Yolanda. She she's going through it every now and then. She's a single mother, you know what I'm saying? So she's going through the rigors of that and raising a daughter by herself who's incredibly brilliant. Sanaya is she's something else, man. Every time I have a conversation with that little girl, she sounds like she can talk to grown folks all day. So all praise to the Most High for that. I see he be blessing that way. But continue to pray for her. Most High know what she's dealing with. My auntie Vaughn, last week the family got a little shook because nobody could reach her. They had called her, she wasn't picking up the phone. She lived by herself. So because of that, everybody got a little anxious. My mother went over there, and of course my aunt was fine, but she was making I can't find my phone or get charged or something like that. So just keep our elders and our families and stuff in prayer. I try to spend as much time with my parents as I can, because you never know. And what I do know is the way this world is going ain't gonna get better. So I need to be prepared for. We all need to be prepared for what's coming, man. And just the general prayer requests of the Most High continue to reveal himself to his people, waking them up from the stupor and the slumber that he said himself was going to seize them in these last days. So we can't do nothing about it. He got to wake us up as he sees fit, and he will when his time is right, man, when his time is right. So, yeah, let's go ahead and say a word of prayer. Get the Ruach up in here. Most High Yahuwah, glory to your name, praise to your name. You who know the number of the hairs on both individuals sitting before you right now. You know the number of the hairs on our head, including the beards, man. I thank you for making us the men that you did, for preparing us in the womb before we were, for knowing our spirits that proceeded from your Ruach to enter into our mother's wombs to give us life, breath, and purpose that we would later find out. We could have been born in any age, in any era, but you chose the 80s to have us planted firm, Father. And you brought us to where we are right now, leading us down this path of truth, letting us have our years of ignorance and stupidity, not knowing you, just roaming underneath your banner of grace and mercy, which our parents prayed for over us. And us not knowing, just like children who are running around in this world, so many of us, man, you protected us and kept us all the way up until now. And we call it a supreme privilege to be able to sit at this desk and do what we do week by week. And you know it ain't because of us. Because your word even tells us it is you who wills and does through us according to your good pleasure. That's what your word says. So you know what you're dealing with. So how dare us come before you being anything but transparent, not even before you, but before those who we speak in front of, Father. So we ask that you send your Ruach HaKodesh down yet again to use both of these vessels, as you have so many times before. For you know, on our behalf, you are going to be called merciful, if nothing else, because we surely don't deserve what you have imparted unto us, surely. So we thank you for bearing with us, Father. And for this reason, we lift up the prayer request with boldness, man. We coming into that throne room talking to our Father, because we know what the deal is. Our big brother already paid the price, so we have an audience, and we're going to treat it that way. We ask that you would impart your healing and your consolation to the Watson and Harper family, you know what I'm saying, for the loss that they just had with Anthony and Joe, as old mentioned, Father. I pray that you be with that family, and only you know how to comfort and console those who have gone through loss, man. We definitely know that you are life, and we know as believers too. I'm thankful for this knowledge that death is just a dreamless sleep. When any of us pass, it's going to be like a second, and we're going to wake back up remembering the last thing we saw before we passed, and then, it's time for the judgment. Either going to be judgment to the righteous or to the damned, one or the other, Father. But we know where we stand and where we believe, and we pray that this faith that we have spreads amongst other people too, so they can come to know you better and not be afraid of such things and not sorrow as the rest of the world sorrows, like your word says, because we know something different. We know just a little bit different. Thank you for being with the brother Lamar, man. Ain't seen that brother in a while. I'm going to reach out to him myself. He and Damon. I pray for both of them brothers, man. Whatever they going through, whatever they dealing with, man. I know they got a heart and a mind towards you. So to sit here and say that they ain't going through nothing is just, that'd be ridiculous. We know that they are. So I ask you give them strength, You give them fortification and protection, whatever it is they need. Be that. That's why you said you are the great I am, because you are whatever we need. So I'm thankful for that. I asked you to be with the brother Jarrell and Kenny, for be with Kenny and Wendell especially. He said they laid up in the hospital with tumors, but such things are trivial to you, man. With a bat of your eyelash, them tumors can be gone and never return. So I'm asking you to place your healing hand upon them in the name of Yahushua Hamashiach, that whatever they're dealing with, that they come through it unscathed and they be restored back to their families and to their friends, and there be no loss. Also continue to be with both of our health and our parents' health, man, and continue to increase wisdom. Be with Aunt Yvonne, things that she deals with on a day-to-day basis, being solo up in that house. Bless her tremendously, man. The amount, the number of years of service that she has to her community and to her church, man, I know for a fact. And she's always serving. She's always looking out for somebody else, always. And I know that goes a long way in your kingdom, for your word tells me so. Ain't so much being selfish. It's about serving and helping others. And that's exactly what she does. She shows people your heart and your love and your character. So I pray that you bless her. Be with Yolanda and Sanaya, especially. They're going to be up here for a while. Be with them while they're up here. And be with them when they go back home, back down to Georgia. Give them traveling mercies. Continue to be with mom and dad and the things they deal with. And be with little Ari. Continue to let that boy grow. He's getting real big. Continue to bless him and keep him, healthy. Continue to be with Brent. I know he was dealing with some stuff as far as workload and his children. About to go back to school. Put protection over them so they don't catch COVID. Going back to school and stuff. I know he's worried about that. But the multitude of prayer requests, man. Multitude. Even the ones that are unspoken, the ones that we ain't rapping about too often in the public, the ones that be real close to our heart and mind, the one that we have to work out our own salvation in fear and trembling because of these things. You know these things, Father. It's for these things that the very blood of the Savior had to be shed, because there could be no remission of sins without it. So you paid that price, which means one thing and one thing only: your grace is sufficient, because that's what you said. So we thank you for that. Continue to roll with us, man. Oh, don't take your spirit from us, not a second, not a minute, especially with the way this world is going. Too many calamities and abominations and atrocities that are multiplying and becoming legal in your sight as wickedness is piling up to the height of heaven. You said yourself that when that cup is filled up, it's going to be poured out without mixture. And it's going to be just, and it's going to be on time, and it's going to be righteous, because you alone know the iniquities of men. And I pray that you overlook ours, man. I pray them joints is blotted out on blood-stained pages, man, for real. Be with those who are coming in and out of the studio. Be with the management of the studio. Those who are working in the background. Those who work to support this program, man. We don't take none of that stuff for lightly, even though sometimes our actions may reflect as if we do. You know us. You know where our foundation is, and we thank you for that. Be with the Bible study crew. Be with Ruth. I know she was dealing with COVID. I pray that she's fully, back to normal now. As far as and Jamar too, I believe he conquered it a little bit earlier, because you made us with these immune systems, man. These diseases ain't got nothing on us. You know what I'm saying? We are skillfully, wonderfully, and meticulously made, for real. So we thank you for that, man. Be with Jen and her whole household, with the things that she had going on. Be with Meech and his whole household, Candace, Maxine, and the rest of the crew. Thank you for knowing us inside and out, man, for real. And just be with us as we continue to move through this day. May we be able to be a blessing to somebody this week. In your son Yahushua's name I pray. Amen. Yeah, man, interesting conversation right before the cameras cut on, as it usually is. But I like the direction it was going in, man. It was discussed. O was on the phone last night. I'm gonna let him tell it. He proposed a question to two family members, man, and we gonna jump on that, because I think it's particular on some of the things that I saw this week. It links to it. So, what was the conversation you was having with your kinfolk?
I mean, everybody's perspective is different. Mm-hmm. It started like that. Everybody don't see things the same way. I'm starting to realize that it ain't a lot of people that see things the way I've been shown. But the question that was presented was trying to remember exactly how I said it. I don't remember exactly how I said it, but it was more so when you consider the type of person. I was like, I think I said something like, more people, if they really were honest with themselves, and consider themselves, for what life really is, they probably are the way that they are, based more so on things that they saw throughout their life than things that they may have heard or done combined. Like what you saw had more of an effect on your outcome than what you heard or did combined. These two things, three things, and well, more, but what you see with your eyes, what you do, and what you hear. If you take those three, and you can separate them, depending on the individual. You can break it down like that. You can make it personal. Yours may be more so literally what you did because your eyes was open when you did it. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you saw it, you can't take away your actions. But if you consider who you are, let's put it out there like that, the outcome, as you are currently, whatever age you are, consider what you saw or what you didn't have an opportunity to see. You know what I'm saying? In comparison to what you heard or maybe didn't hear or what you did or didn't do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just doing that like that now. On the air. But the question was simple. I believe we probably are more, the reason we are what we are is more so based on what we saw than what we did or heard combined. That's what I proposed to them. It was for a reason, considering how this particular young man, how his life is going. I know what I've seen, and I know what I haven't seen. All praise to the Most High. I know what I've done. I know what I haven't done. I know what I've heard. And I know what I didn't hear up until now and how that's affected everything at the same time. It all depends on how the individual wants it tied together. But you had made some mention about like some examples that you had.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you talk about what you've seen, and especially if you want to make it, because I was trying to get deeper under the surface than what the conversation we was having. Considering why people are the way they are. You can't blame this young man for being a certain way if he's never seen how to be a different type of way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If he's never had a chance to see what it looks like to be a respectful young kid. Because these little kids out here ain't really respectful like that now.
Right.
You playing your video games, everything's being put before your eyes is madness and nonsense. You're trying to make that your reality. Off topic, my man got an Oculus joint, right?
Oh,
you know what that is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, I'll put it on. I put it on, but I see what it is. It's two little cameras.
Yeah.
It's focused right on your eyes.
That's right.
And you see everything that, and he talking about porn for that. It's
Yeah.
real life. I'm like, Slim,
Yeah.
that's your world now, Joe.
Virtual reality.
Virtual
dog.
reality. I mean, I hate to jump onto that, but you know what I'm saying? It's
No,
what
that's
your
real.
eyes are seeing.
That's real. That joint is wild. First
Slim.
time I did it, I could not believe that everywhere I looked my head, it was a different environment.
I did
know
boxing.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt I was about to die when I wasn't even a whole 90 seconds.
Yeah.
My body was hurt. I thought I probably looked stupid. He watched me talking, I see you throwing the punches. I know I look dumb.
Right.
But Joe is, yeah, go ahead.
It be those. It's usually when I see them joints, it's either sports or horror. You in some type of environment with somebody trying to come kill you and stuff. I was like, why would you put yourself in an environment with anyway?
This man brought up porn and said, you need to see it. I said, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't need to see that.
No, you
it's
don't.
hard enough not looking at that phone.
Yeah,
You put it right in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
Like it's real.
Like it's real.
No, I mean real people.
Yeah.
Not the digital.
Yeah.
Not, you know what I'm saying? But it's like real.
Yeah.
I'm like, Joe, and then they got these dolls that are almost real. People are gone. They gone.
Technology, man.
Hey, Slim. Yeah, it's going to tie us up together real interesting. But yeah, that was the conversation.
And it's interesting as you brought up. I remember I did mention the three main individuals in my life, the man figures who showed me. And the thing is, it wasn't about what they told me. It was about watching their actions and how they carried themselves. That's why I think seeing has definitely got more weight. Because children, even now, they don't do what you say, they do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
That's a common little, child raising proverb. You can tell them all the way, don't do that. But if you do it, they gonna do it. And my pops, things I got from him, he always told us, and my mother always told us, don't drive fast. You know what I'm saying? Wear your seatbelt. Every time I jump in the passenger seat with him, my pops is flying. I swore he could have been in NASCAR or Indy 500 if he wanted to, because he could move the whip like he wanted with a stick or automatic. Didn't matter. So I would always drive like him. I would always respond to people who, had issues with me like him. My father was great at diffusing arguments. I didn't even know he was good at doing it, but he knows how to do it. But when he's assertive in doing it, he's like, man, you don't want to play these games with me. Now let's figure out a rational way that, he can do that. Being in social work and the type of communities that he worked in, I guess he needed to put that into practice, especially with his coworkers. So he was doing that. And he taught me about responsibility, too, because I was never good with numbers, but he always was. So was my brother. My brother got that gift, the one with numbers. But he taught me accountability. You know what I'm saying? Whenever my father was wrong, there was only a few times I saw him wrong. He admitted that he was wrong. Both of them was to my mother. A woman gonna call out when you wrong. So he did that, and so I saw his humility in that era. But I also saw him, that way when he was, competing. He liked to play cards and he liked to play basketball. So I saw him when he did those things too, and I kind of took that. My granddaddy, countless. The way he conducted himself such a it wasn't out of arrogance either. It was decency.
Authority.
It was authority, properness, decency, order. The things that you gain from gleaning on the word. He had that in his essence, in his speech. How he talked, how he dealt with anybody. He'd preach in front of 1,000 people and stand up there and shake every last hand that came up to shake his hand, and gave praise to the Most High each and every time. And I was just watching him, and then. The things that he said to me when he was closer to the end of his life really had an impact. And then, of course, there's my uncle. Uncle was the one, he's like, yo, in this world, don't take no BS from nobody. Don't roll over for nobody, especially towards the man. My uncle had a lot of run-ins with the law. And he had plenty of stories to tell on them joints. But he had a little bit of a temper too, so I kind of saw that as well. There was always good and bad in there. You saw the flaws and the strengths of every man who is in my life. But then you got those that, influence your eyes outside of your family boundaries. What you see on TV, what you see on the movies, you know what I'm saying? What society would consider popular or cool. And naturally the flesh wants to gravitate towards that for what? Recognition, respect, for attention, whatever it may be. And those two, the things you see, you know what I'm saying? It really creates, you know what I'm saying, what type of person you are, how you used to dress, how you used to talk, all that from observation, man. And the reason why I think that's important is because, like, now, man, bro, we see, just like what you talking about with this dude who had the whole virtual reality set, man, a lot of people are living in that, and what they consider to be how to live and how to act is just completely wrong. Because it seems like morals and properness and decency has just been tossed to the wayside because of the era in which we live in and the wickedness that is,
you can't wait
world.
to get back in the house out of reality so you can delve into your virtual reality where you're comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
You be the man. This metaverse. You know what I'm saying? I know nothing of it. It was my man was explaining, Jeanette was saying something about something and I feel a little old, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a little green, because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not the space. That's not the space I'm moving in. You know what I'm saying? Even if my drive was all the way business for real, I would never shift into that. And because that's not reality.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? That's not. I don't believe that's by design of the Most High.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? So that's nothing that I'm gonna commit a lot of energy to. But when you talk about how what you saw your grandfather, your father, your uncle, what you saw from them, it goes both ways. Because if your father was in the street, if your grandfather was an OG in the hood as opposed to an OG in the church, you would have saw something different.
Way different.
You know what I'm saying? But that still may not have been meant for you. Just like you saw a world-renowned preacher and a man of Yah and your father and your uncle, even though they had the other side of their life, jokers told you your whole life you're going to be a preacher. Just like with me. But you didn't see that so you could emulate it, you know what I'm saying, or mimic it, just to help mold you and shape you. A lot of jokers, they get grafted towards what they see, but that ain't even for them. Because then the other aspect, the other part of that is you ain't got nobody in your life guiding you, telling you what you should apply that you've seen and how to apply what you've seen. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be beating myself up, but not beating myself up. Like my man. It's easy to, even though you shouldn't be envious or jealous. You know what I'm saying? But when you see a person that's had both parents, in a stable environment, even if the environment wasn't all the way stable, but you're getting sound advice from both ends, you turn out different. You know what I'm saying? The end result, you can't go back and change that in hindsight's 2020, but you got to consider the roads you walk, the path you've traveled or whatever, and how you've gotten to the point where you are in your life. You can't always blame yourself. You can't really blame nobody because everybody got their own individual struggles.
Yeah.
But you can't close your eyes to life. You know what I'm saying? If you were blessed with sight, you got to use it.
Yeah.
But you got to also know how to discern what you're looking at. Everything is not always what it seems. And for the most part, it isn't what it seems, because people are good at faking.
Yeah.
And lying and putting on the front. Like you said, Slim, I don't know if he had on his Sabbath face.
Yeah.
Whatever the dude standing at the door. But a lot of people did that.
Yeah.
When they get dressed up, they get dressed up.
Yeah. It's a new person.
You walk out the house, you close the car door off a fresh argument and then walk into church. Happy Sabbath. Good
Oh,
morning. How you doing, brothers? I mean, how was your, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to fake. And that ain't just in church. It's not just in church. That's all the way across the board. You showing people something that ain't real. Yah is completely and totally against that. Completely and totally against. He looks at us for exactly what we are.
Exactly.
He wants us to be honest. You can't lie to him. You can't front. You know what I'm saying? That stand in your lane thing that he gave me, it's interesting. But see, like with the lyrics of that joint about me, I can't get past a certain part. But the more I think about it, it applies to now. I can't remember when I wrote it, but it applies more so to my life now
Than it did.
than it did. I thought I was writing about somebody else.
Man.
To be honest with you. And I started thinking about the lyrics. I'm like, yo. And I wasn't even doing
Yeah.
then what it came back around to.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Joe, he's like, man, but it started out, I had to look at it when he said, stay in your lane. And listen when I tell you not to do something. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Joe, I've been bull jiving, doing what I want to do. It ain't sweet. Trust me, my spirit was empty for a minute. I'm like, I know you're there.
Yeah.
Because you keep sparing me. You do stuff here and there, but when I try to talk to you in the midst of nonsense, that you just like, you get a, you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
You serious? You playing with me? Like, no, no, I ain't playing with you.
Right.
Is that what I'm doing? I'm playing? Like, man, listen, man. You need to do this. Whenever I get up and I pray and I read, my day is completely different.
Always.
Regardless of what I do.
Yeah.
It's different. Just to think about him. I mean, how you tell yourself you're going to forget something?
Yeah.
I ain't going to forget. And then you forget. You feel stupid. You know what I'm saying? That happens to me all the time. And I feel like the enemy just playing with me.
We did.
But when the Most High, when he reminds me, you know how many times I've gotten in the shower and left my towel hanging up?
Yeah.
I'm getting in the shower without the towel.
Yeah.
You got to jump out wet and go get your towel.
Everybody.
When I remember, it happens, but it's good to be cognizant of certain things. We ain't stupid. We ain't slow, but the enemy always wants to play with our minds. He always wants to make us think something that's not. But when you tied in with the Most High, he'll remind you of stuff. Hey, get your towel for you.
Absolutely it will.
Hey, you left your phone in the truck.
Yep.
Grab it before you get out and go.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, remember to get your keys before you walk out the door. You put that right there, right? And it'll be like that, as opposed to the enemy wants you to, man, don't even look over there. Try to distract you so you get mad. You're frustrated when you get outside, closing the door, like, damn, my keys in the house. And he laughing, stupid, now you're outside.
It's his providence, dog. That joint is amazing. You reminded me of something that happened just 2 days ago. I'm at a red light. As soon as I go through the red light, the car on the opposite side of the street, he's parked against the sidewalk. He makes a complete U-turn from the slow lane into my lane across the double line as the light is turning green. So he sees his green. It's like his U-turn was prompted by the light turning green, but he's turning into our lane. It's oncoming traffic. So I slam on I don't slam on brakes because I see this. I was like, I know he ain't. I know he ain't. Hit the horn. Drive past. Of course, this little old woman. Well, she ain't old, but it's like she's sitting in her seat. Her head is barely above the little window joint. So I'm like, all right, she's small. She can't see nothing. But then I get down to the next block. It's a stop sign. I'm slow rolling the stop sign, which I shouldn't do. Here come a car flying. I'm talking about flying into the turn to turn on the street where I'm turning off of. He's going in the opposite direction. But if I had been unobstructed at that green, he'd have broadsided me quick and easy. And the Most High would be like, he didn't even say nothing. It's almost like I could see his face. He was like, well, what you gonna? I said, oh, thank all praise, all praises. I appreciate it because he said he could have taken you out. It'd been definitely cost you, you know what I'm saying, significant amount for your car for the damage. But his providence just reigns supreme, and I'm thankful of one thing, if nothing else, the fact that I can recognize it. Because there have been times I've been saved from stuff too, and I just be like, whew, glad that wasn't me, and just kept on going, ain't give no consideration or thought to the Most High. But when you do that, when you consider what he has done and you recognize him for the goodness that he has shown, it's like he adds on extra. He multiplies his mercy unto you because he knows it's me. Rather than the Most High who sits high and has the rain fall on the just and the unjust alike, and he's giving mercy on to everybody who draws breath, whether they righteous or wicked, and you don't recognize him for none of it. But for those that do,
Go ahead.
for those that do, it's amazing. That's gonna be the end of my thought, man.
I mean, since this is Real Talk 101, the Devil Exposed, right? We got to go from we got to consider all perspectives.
Okay.
You know, we already came from the visual. Now, what about the ones who would say, "Nah, man, it ain't what I saw. What I did is more so what I heard that got me where I'm at right now, or made me the type of person." Now, that can go both ways too. What if all you were built up, you know, your whole life, praised, all these accolades, made to believe that you're the best, and it may work.
Oh yeah.
You know, you may turn, but you know, high and mighty, pride go before a fall.
Yeah.
But not to say for you to be prideful, but some people are fed through their ears.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where you might have been shown everything you saw was perfect. You know, what you heard was perfect. You know, what you did may seem to be harmless. You know what I'm saying? You're a nice, upstanding citizen, and you're morally sound and all this other stuff. What if you was the type of kid who was cussed out all the time and told you ain't shit, you know what I'm saying, ain't gonna be nothing, you dumb mother, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
you were cussed out, smacked out,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? What type of kid does that grow up to be? I ain't talking about little kids. I'm
Right.
talking where adults are at, if they're honest with themselves. What was your experience like that got you to this point? If you're honest with yourself, what do you remember? I don't remember nothing from my childhood. You lying. You're lying. If you search your brain, it's dead. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause especially if you haven't addressed it. Especially if you haven't addressed it, it's dead. The question is, do you want to deal with it? If you're cool with being what you are, and the Most High is trying to evolve us, if this thing is going to shift, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be I'm gonna just file everything from the old side. I'm gonna just put that in a big old safe and bury it. Nah, because the Most High knows about it.
Yeah.
That stuff has to be addressed. All of it. What you seen, what you did, what you heard. I ain't saying be no snitch. Snitch to the Most High. Talk to him about it. And he ain't gonna lock you up. He ain't gonna press no charges on you. The charges have already been filed. We filed them charges against humanity a long time ago. Yahweh Shah's been advocating ever since. So you got a lawyer. You know, you have a defender of the public. Not even the public. You got a defender of Yasharal. If you Yasharal, you better talk to the judge now. Well, you got an opportunity to. For real. Plead your case. Tell them what you're saying. Tell them what you heard. Tell them what you feel. What you went to Marcus. Can you cut that air on, please, sir? Tell them what you went through. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna change your life. I talked to the Most High the other day, flat out. I'm like, yeah, listen, I know what I've been doing. I know I'm dead wrong. You understand what I'm saying?
You did it yesterday?
This was
Stop playing. Don't do it.
what's today, Sunday?
Yeah.
This was
Friday.
Friday. I want to say Friday.
That's exactly what happened to me.
I want to say it was Friday.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
'Cause
Friday.
That's when, that's what started and prompted. Yeah, it's Friday. I'm gonna say Friday.
Yeah,
I just
man.
been feeling so flipping out of it. You know what I'm saying? Out of it, disconnected. Just like going through the motions. And it got tiring.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I'm just like, man, if I can't feel the Most High, what's the purpose?
What's the purpose?
Like, what's the purpose? I didn't step away. And I told him flat out, I'm like, Joe, ever since I stopped rocking with that JESUS, ever since I left out of what the church is, I have felt different. I do not believe I'm wrong. I do not believe this isn't the truth, but it feels different. It's not as, the level of confidence ain't there that you had when you was preaching Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Because most people don't want to hear about this. But that's not for most people.
Right.
It's for certain people, knowing your lane.
Yeah.
Knowing the lane. And that's when he started telling me, listen, Slim, you are you. I made you. I didn't make you them.
Yeah.
They can't be you.
Right.
Stop worrying about them.
Right.
Focus on you. And I don't mean to be stingy. You know what I'm saying? All we got to do, like I said, talk to Yah. He's there with our blueprints, ready to go over whatever damage has been done to this vehicle. He knows exactly. And he might upgrade. He's the manufacturer. He may give you a upgrade.
You know what that reminds me of? I heard this analogy in church, but I'm going to go deeper with it. In the league, NBA, let's pick NBA because it's simple. We got all these teams. 5 men get on the floor. You got a bunch of Bammers on the bench, but you have stars on each team. What separates the stars from the regular players? That was the question that was asked. And the answer that was given was the amount of practice. What they do when nobody's watching. How early they come in and how late they stay when everybody else is going home. When they're comfortable. Because they've been paid. When you on a team, you got your contract. You got millions coming to you. Whether you're NFL, whatever league you in, you get money. So those who don't want to settle with just being average or just going out there and play ball, they want to excel. They go deeper. Kobe Bryant taking 200-something shots with his left hand when he broke his right one, just so he can get the left right. You know what I'm saying? Steph Curry shooting 500 three-pointers from half court. So when we see it in the game, everybody's like, oh, he's amazing. How does he do it? This Bama practices. Right. When it comes to this word, started reading it up with what I had. But when I found out there was more, I can perfect my knowledge on what this is in regards to the kingdom. A lot of people ain't going to do that. A lot of people ain't going to stay for practice. They're going to go home. They're going to have their Sabbath dinner, and then they're going to relax and come back the next week and see what whoever's talking to them says about the word that they have. It's like you got the basketball, somebody else is showing you how to dribble. Mm-hmm. No, you pick it up and go out there and do something with it and get your handles right. I'm thinking about this. Then the Most High puts it, he's like, all right, first of all, I need you to understand this. So you don't bring any glory to yourself, save lest any man can glory. I'm the one that showed you there was more. I showed you the secret practice gym that's open 24/7 that others can't get access to. It's your choice to come into it and shoot around if you want to or not. But I'm going to be in there, and I'm going to show you how to make your game better. There's only been a few stars in this book that have done it before. And they wanted to resist too. They ain't always want to come, but I put it on them. They recognize, no, this is more important than what I have been doing. Now, you've seen examples of them. Now I'm going to show you more. Consider yourself following in their footsteps and only seek my glory, not the world's. Because what the world's going to offer you is just what the world accepts. If we was out there preaching Jesus and doing, the good Christian thing, if that's where you at, that's where you at.
They would love it, though.
They would.
They would love it. They were starting to love it.
Yeah.
People got mad at us when we shift gears.
Oh man, they did.
They may not have got outwardly mad, but they probably were disappointed.
Disappointed.
Those brothers were doing so good. They were moving in such a Christian direction. Man, well, Marcus, can we get the air on? You're great.
Yeah,
I was about to say take a break, but I'm sorry, man.
I feel you.
These
I feel you.
Sunlights on me.
Yeah.
So.
But on that note, man, it's like I'm glad the Most High allowed us the opportunity, because it's now I see us moving into that sphere. It's not to, I don't want to say it arrogantly or like we're ascending. We're transitioning to a high, and what it is for. It's for the glory of the kingdom, man. I don't know how else to put it. This is the other big thing. It's like just like these superstars or whatever, in whatever league they in. When it comes down to fourth quarter, 2 minutes left, who does everybody looking to save the game if they down? Same thing gonna happen in these latter days.
Hey, look, I don't know where you at over there. But I know what he opened me up to.
Okay, let's see how I link.
What's the opposite? 4 or 3. Hey, let's take a break real quick. Let's
All right.
take a little break.
Yeah, we're going to take like a 5-10 minute break, and we're going to come right back to you while we cool off. We clear, Marcus?
You can feel it when it's beating steady. It's steady thumping while you breathing heavy. That power muscle keeps that blood flowing. He keeps it going, so we'll get to know him. The son of the father, so many never get to know him. Or except the only reason he let his blood flow. So many deceptions that we can't seem to understand. But the truth is coming because of Yahweh's master plan. The heartbeat of Yah was there in the beginning. The Alpha, Omega, before we started sinning. He knew us. Formed us, he made us in his image. He synced his heartbeat to ours, and that's why we're still living. The struggle of this life has led us all astray like Cain. But with the choice to serve ourselves, who else can we blame? The two greatest laws are love for God and love for man. But by choosing self over both, we defy his commands. He's loving, he's patient, not willing we should suffer. Repentance, confession, in the name of our big brother. Protection, salvation is all the Father offers. Confusion and damnation is what's reserved for the scoffers. He wants a relationship with you, just let him near. Listen closely to this track, you hear him in your ear. The first beat you feel is an echo coming from his throne. The second one is the proof you're not living life alone. Just take that breath so that you can receive. His Ruach is dripping, so just believe. That love of Yah will put you in the zone. So get that fire shut up in your bones. Got all the results of sin, even till today. That's why he made the plan of salvation to make a way. Emptied all of heaven in one eternal sacrifice, just so that he could spend time with us in paradise. He struggled and he strived to get human attention, even repented himself of his wayward invention. Washed the world of iniquity cause of satanic heists. Sent prophets, warnings, and miracles, and even sent us Christ. His heart stays pumping grace and mercy to the hearts of the souls that are caught up in this controversy. Heeding doctrines of devils and wandering after beasts, trying to get them a glimpse of light before they are deceased. We don't know how much we mean to him, we don't recognize how soon he's coming back to get us when he parts the skies. Take the time to seek truth and learn what we don't really know. He'll make a way out of no way by letting his blood flow. We don't know how much we mean to him, we don't recognize how soon he's coming back to get us when he parts the skies. Take the time to seek truth and learn what we don't really know. He'll make a way out of no way by letting his blood flow.
As servants of the Most High, we must eagerly plant the seed. Understand we do not possess the power to make the seed grow, only the Father. The key being missed is the art of playing your position. Trust Yah to do what he said he will do. He will get the increase. He gets the credit. The Most High showed me the end result before I knew the path. And when I asked, he just said, follow me.
You see, cause push is what the doctor told mommy when she was birthing me. We push it, make it through tribulations and life adversities. A pusher is a term for a person selling narcotics. A pushover is what church is now cause of lack of knowledge. Information must be factual, literal, therefore actual. Be leery of the ones taking lies and making them practical. We have to pull the skirt up on shepherds who out there lying. If we don't, then there's a chance that we may all end up in frying. Gotta push to the limit, let's get it. If you a soldier, gotta up for the truth, and my passion just makes me bolder. Got a crew rolling with me, we sticky, yeah, how a shot of glue. We holding us together through him, there's nothing that we can't do. It's time, ask the question, who blessing me, where my help come from? Yeah, how I do it all through his work, yeah, how a shine, son, let's get it. If you with it, go grab it so you can have it. Time for playing games, there's up tricks off for kids, you silly rabbit.
I pledge allegiance to the Most High, who is the Alpha and Omega. And through the blood of Yahweh Shai, his son that died for me, I am reconciled to my Father in heaven. Under Yah, whose mercy is everlasting. One truth, if accepted, will bring salvation to all.
We gotta push to get truth from the people pushing us lies. Speaking of lies, you know the devil, he always come in disguise. A fancy suit, a nice physique, some money and pretty eyes, but he's a fire-breathing dragon who's helping on telling lies. In Revelations, there's this beast and he giving this soul a rise. She's dressed in purple and in scarlet, yeah, that be that whole disguise. That's all it represent the church or authority, telling lies. That be she riding on his roam. You better open up your eyes to water. Bahashim, yeah, I was shy. I thank you for this blessing. Time to wake up from the sleep so we can teach that whole lesson. Less and less, I feel traditional. The most I rock with spiritual. His Ruach here to help download this truth just like it's digital. We miserable and shattered, been that way since we've been scattered. Now y'all waking up as people. Check this out, there's none equal. Most I knew what he was doing when he sent this strong delusion. Fall in love with seeking truth and he'll confirm this next conclusion. Strong delusion.
Physically powerful, morally vigorous, deeply rooted, false idea or theory, held persistently and abnormally, accepted as truth, especially by faith or authority rather than from personal knowledge, but is in fact a falsehood.
We gotta push to manage damage implanted by the satanic papal power. Yeah, that hoe giving gifts out just like she's Santa. Satan switch the N around and see just what I'm saying. And they gifts be wrapped in lies, designed to spread their propagation. No more waiting, time to get up, get out. Wake up the nation, need a phrase from Yashar al-Arazo. Israel awaken, deacon sleeping, elders losing. The congregation be losing. Pastor serving wine from Babylon, got everybody moving. Think you know it, cause you older and done been in for a minute. Lack of knowledge while we perishing, no need to be offended. See, the truth is not rhetorical, it's timely in the season. When it's spitting proper format, there's no room left for deceiving or misleading, which result when ones insert their own opinion. Just like Adam when he tripped out and gave Hashatan dominion. We've been subject to the lie, but know this truth, it will prevail. I'ma love watching the devil and his whole crew burn in hell. Push.
We back.
You heard me, Mark?
And the air is on, so we feeling cooler. All praises. Having a very good discussion on the way of man, how seeing or what a child receives through their sentence, how it shapes them, how it forms them, how it affects what type of person that they are. So we're going to continue on with that discussion. I believe always going to talk about the difference between two classes that we already have heard about. We just don't know the difference.
Oh, you put them in the service?
Yeah, sir.
Nah, see, look, when the Most High woke me up, I believe it was Friday. No, actually it was Saturday morning. And I read Jasher 37, you know, and how how Jacob or Jacob returned to Shechem, you know, to you know, settle or whatever. They said the land was good for their cattle, but you know, Shechem is where they had destroyed that. Levi and Simeon killed all the men. I just found it interesting that they came back, and the surrounding nations, the kings of the surrounding nations, who knew who these Hebrews were, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, hold up, man, these dudes gonna come back?
Yeah.
After they just killed off all these, they just gonna come back and set up shop again? They're like, nah, so whatever whatever the king name was, Johiab, something like that, something like that. He got all the kings together. They came together with their men. The scriptures say the number was like the sand of the sea. And, you know, Jacob had 12 sons. Only 10 of his sons, you know, went forth with their servants. You know, but these kings had all their armies, all these soldiers. You know what I'm saying? Even when the scriptures distinguish between the word said soldiers and servants. You know what I'm saying? As I'm laying there, Ruach got to breaking down to me the difference in my life, you know, between a soldier and a servant. My brother wears servant of the Most High on his chest. It don't say soldier of the Most High. It says servant of the Most High. Everybody wants to be. What they tell us when we was kids, we are soldiers in the army. We got to fight. Father Abraham had many sons. How many sons that father? I one of them. So let's all pray right hand. Well, that's a different. That's a different something. We are soldiers. You know what I'm saying? Even in the Pathfinders, they teach you to look at yourself as like a military arm of the Most High. I'm saying, man, he got numerous angels for that. You know what I'm saying? To be a servant, and by definition, right? I'm gonna read the soldier definition first. To be a soldier, because this is what most of it. I know a lot of. We were always called little soldiers. What's up, little soldier? What's up, soldier? What's up, soldier? I got a homie every time, man. What's up, soldier? What's up, soldier? You see more so the term soldier in the spiritual aspect almost applied to niggas in the streets. They're out there in the trenches, and this would be their lingo, their language. You know what I'm saying? They got ops. You know what I'm saying? You out there on this military mindset. You know, a soldier. And I ain't putting nobody down who's there, but this is, like I said, this is how you hit me, because I'm not out there.
Yeah.
You know, to call myself a soldier. Now, me and Damon had that exchange. We said he was a warrior.
Yeah.
Warrior, that's something different. I ain't look at the term warrior, but because in Jasher 37, Jacob's sons and their crew, their men was referred to as their servants. They went forth with their servants. Judah, with 10 of his servants, went forth to rumble this particular division of soldiers, and they dogged them. But the definition of a soldier, one who serves in the army, a private as distinguished from a commissioned officer, a person of military experience or of unusual valor. Now, to stand boldly and speak the truth could be considered unusual valor, you know, especially in the face of so much opposition. That's what a soldier is. A servant, one who works for another, especially for wages. these were individuals of these men's household.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they gave him a place to live. They paid him. And servant ain't necessarily a slave. You know, a slave and a servant,
It's different. It's different.
two different things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But these individuals may have had slaves too. You know, they may have had slaves working off debts or whatever. It was different at the time. I don't want, a slave ain't nothing but a servant ain't nothing but a slave. No, I'm talking about one who.
That makes dog. It was just, it ain't supposed to be an epiphany, but a servant's whole livelihood is governed by his master.
Mm-hmm.
So of course he would go out to war with his master, because if you die, then that cuts off my livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
So Most High, we serve him because clearly we can't breathe without him. And I'm like, of course a servant of the Most High will do. Yes, Yah. What is it? Because we know he ain't gonna fall. He the only master that can't be defeated. So whatever he wants, we will be servants for him.
One who works for another, especially for wages. Specifically, one who performs domestic duties in return for board, lodging, and wages.
Yeah.
Or one who holds a menial position. Now, as far as we're concerned, based on the scriptures, we're all sinners, right? And the scriptures say that the wages of sin is death.
Mm-hmm.
So our servitude is more so to not receive wages. Because if we got paid for what we did or what we're doing, it would be death.
No,
So
the wages have been prorated. The grace and mercy.
grace and mercy.
Those are the wages we don't receive the wages we deserve.
But we're here for that purpose.
Right.
If we leave outside of this, that
Yeah.
prorated,
It's gone.
It's gone. It's gone.
It's go, and then your debt is remembered.
Then you get what you're working for. Now you're gonna get paid. You want to get paid?
Your debt is remembered.
But look, remember what you said? And this I said you're gonna tie it together, talking about the servants and slaves. You were talking about there was a time where jokers would, men of color,
Yeah.
come out your house with a suit on.
With a suit
to
on.
Go to the store.
Yep.
It was a different time, and compared to what it is now. How the generations have changed. When you said that, and I'm like, Joe, you know what? I'm gonna say that when we were on the air because I thought about it. You would think when our enemies, when our captors brought us over here, if they want to look like they were, they know they was wrong, but they were doing a service.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody got to pick this cotton or this sugar cane or this tobacco or whatever for the rest of the world. But as they broke these animals, as they broke them and taught them European ways, you would think they'd have been proud to see these black men dressing up like they were dressing up, you know what I'm saying, trying to go to work, trying to get educated. But that infuriated them even more to the point where they eliminated
Jealousy.
growth.
Yeah.
You know
Envy.
what I'm saying? But it's to be a servant
Yeah.
as opposed to a slave. Yahweh's not doing that. He wants to see us advance. He wants to see us change and grow into his image. Slave masters, they didn't want you to grow. They wanted you to do whatever they told you to do. You know what I'm saying? But you had ones who would fully submit to that way, Uncle Tom's or whatever, house niggas.
I'm sorry. What came to me now is the fact that parable of the wicked servant. Look what was going on. The Most High, or the Master, gave his servants an inheritance or an allowance, something that could be grown. Mm-hmm. The good ones went and multiplied it, showing them that they were ready they were servants, and through servitude, they multiplied what he gave them. Mm-hmm. So now in the end, they're going to be promoted to authority. When has ever a servant moved to authority, like in regular circumstances? A soldier has to fight and kill and continue in obeying orders to move up in rank. But a servant that was given an inheritance or a blessing or something from the Most High and increased it so that others benefited from what was given to him is now fit for authority. Because that's what he says. He's like, man, unto the wicked servant, he said, take what little he has and give it to the one who already has a lot. Mm-hmm. He said, because it's something else that I'm struggling to put my finger on in that parable. But there's importance there in this whole aspect of being a servant versus a soldier.
I guess when I look back at what you said, and there was a time, my grandfather got pictures, sharp as a tack, suited up.
Oh, all the time.
You know what I'm saying? I think that might have been the 50s or
At
whatever.
least. Yeah.
And even to the point, I don't know, my grandfather never wore shorts. He always had on some type of
Slacks.
You know, like the khaki, not khakis, but they, you know, them old man pants.
Them slacks.
I don't know what they were made. I don't know what they were. They all were the same.
Old man pants.
You know what I'm saying, with the button up.
Yeah.
All of them wore them. They still do.
Button up.
You know, with a flannel shirt, with some suspenders, or a big old belt. But that's the era you came from, what they had. You know what I'm saying? They were different types of men. And not to take note, if you want to consider what the separation, the digression, or whatever, from that point to now. But I guess my thought was when you said that, and I'm like, you would think that if the slave owner, and because all slave owners weren't the same, you know, they weren't all abusive. You know, even though there was lynchings going on, some of them just had businesses, not to justify slavery. But the fact that the Most High said it was going to happen, you got to try to take the good with the bad. But he had to weed out. He had to. It was a punishment. Bottom line, it was a punishment.
Yeah, it was a curse.
It was a curse. So people were gonna die. You know, some were gonna lose their life, but it also was a cleansing of Israel. Had to weed out the madness that we had chosen to take in. He broke us all the way down by the hand of our enemy, his enemy. You know what I'm saying? Scripture tell you that. You know, to be mad at them, that's on the individual. You know, but without what they did, without what was allowed to happen, we wouldn't be at this point
at all.
We wouldn't have been able to get to the end of the 400 years. It had to be sewn up by that time, 3 years ago, as it was pointed out. Yes. 3 years into the curse being lifted. So just to think like this, like you would, and I didn't want to use this example because I'm not saying that people of color or Israelites are dogs or monkeys, but if you had a person that could train a monkey or a dog to cook, clean, take care of themselves independently, and then that monkey or that dog went out and started teaching other monkeys and dogs the same thing, to take care of themselves, to cook, to clean, be independent, and you get mad at that monkey, that dog, and you kill it because it doesn't need you anymore.
Envy.
It's self-sufficient.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They want us to be so dependent on them.
Yeah,
and for the longest time, we were dependent on our masters because we had nothing. But now that we have, and when we started getting for ourselves and we suited up, like they were suited up, we used our intelligence. You know what I'm saying? We took an opportunity to be educated, even though it was under their educational system. That intimidated them. They're like, oh, they're going to take our place. We don't want your place. We don't want your position, and you can't have ours. That's the thing about this. They want our position that Yahweh has set.
Even that's biblical.
You get the Amos, right? Because I don't know what you got right there.
Right.
Not even look. All right, this is the Tanakh. Amos chapter 7, right? Thus said Yahweh Elohim, show me. Thus did Yahweh Elohim show me. Behold, he was forming a swarm of locusts as the latter growth was beginning to sprout. That would be us. And behold, the latter growth appeared after the king's reaping. It was when it was finished, devouring the grass of the earth, that I said, Yahweh Elohim, please forgive. How will Jacob survive? For he is small. We're the remnant. I'm seeing that this Yahweh is showing Amos what's going to happen at the end. And as he sees all this calamity, he's like, ho, Yah. You know, fall back a little bit. They too small to deal with all of that. That's what I gathered from it. If you got something different, whoever it is, it was when it was finished, devouring the grass of the earth, the locust, that I said, Yahweh Elohim, please forgive. How will Jacob survive? For he is small. So Yahweh relented concerning this. It shall not be. He relented because Amos was like, oh, forgive. I mean, even though he knew he wasn't going to wipe us all the way out anyway. But he's showing this man, thus did Yahweh Elohim show me. Behold, Yahweh Elohim was summoning his legions to contend with Yasharah by fire. His legions to contend with us by fire. And it consumed the great depths and devoured the portion of the land. And I said, Yahweh Elohim, please refrain. How will Jacob survive? For he is small. So Yahweh relented concerning this. It too shall not be, said Yahweh Elohim. He's falling. He's like, man, he's going to beat us, but he ain't going to destroy us. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Thus did he show me. Behold, Yahweh was standing on a plumbed wall. Plumb, that was the first thing I looked up. To be plumbed. Vertical. Straight. Right? H-I-T-K-L-M-N-O-P. L-M-N-O-P. P. Plumb. You the definition of plumb. And what a plumb line is. Plumb. You deal with construction or masonry, bricklaying. The wall got to be plumb. For something to be plumb, a plumb is a small, heavy weight fastened to a cord and suspended to indicate a vertical line used for determining how nearly vertical is a piece of work done, also called plumb bob. Now, plumb line A line suspending a weight as of direction or to sound the depths of water, also called, a line suspending a weight as of lead used to test exactness of vertical direction or to sound the depths of water. Exactness of vertical direction. So Yahweh standing on a plumbed wall, a wall that's vertical, with a plumb line in his hand. And Yahweh said to me, "What do you see, Amos?" I said, "A plumb line." Yahweh then said, "Behold, I am placing a plumb line in the midst of my nation. I will no longer continue to forbear them. The high places of Isaac will be made desolate, and the sanctuaries of Yasharal destroyed. And I will rise up against the house of Jeroboam with the sword." Now, Jeroboam was king of Judah, right?
Yeah,
Jeroboam. Let's talk about Judah. Amaziah, the priest of Bethel, sent word to Jeroboam, king of Israel, saying, Amos has conspired against you in the midst of the house of Yasharal. Amaziah, the priest of Bethel, sent word to Jeroboam, king of Israel, saying, Amos has conspired against you in the midst of the house of Israel. The land cannot tolerate all his words. For thus did Amos say, Jeroboam will die by the sword, and Israel will be exiled from upon his land. Amaziah then said to Amos, Seer, go flee to the land of Judah. Eat bread there, and there you may prophesy, but do not continue to prophesy in Bethel, for it is the sanctuary of the king and the seat of royalty. Amos replied and said to Amaziah, I am not a prophet, nor am I the son of a prophet, but I am a cattle herder and an examiner of sycamores. Yahweh took me from behind the flock, and Yahweh said to me, go prophesy to my people Yasharal. And now, hear the word of Yahweh. You say, do not prophesy concerning Yasharal, nor preach about the house of Isaac. Therefore, thus said Yahweh, your wife will be promiscuous in the city, and your sons and daughters will fall by the sword, and your land will be divided up by lot. You will die on contaminated soil, and Yasharal will surely be exiled from his land. This is before it went down. He knew that the Most High was going to do what he was going to do with his people. Mm-hmm. You can't speak in opposition to that. Everybody used to go through that feel-good sermon type stuff. You know what I'm saying? In the middle phase, when this had to come about. And anybody that would get in the way of the Most High accomplishing his goal, your wife going to end up promiscuous, your sons and your daughters, you know what I'm saying? Your family. He's going, it's
fall apart.
You're going to, it's better to go with what Yah said than to put yourself in a group of people who are speaking in opposition of what the Most High has already said is going to happen. Amos, he said, man, I'm a cattle herder. I tend sycamores. I'm a husbandman, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here dressing up, you know, I'm taking care of the land. And the Most High came to me. What did he say he asked him? He said, thus did Yahweh Elohim show me. The Most High showed him something. Mm-hmm. This is chapter 7. And I don't remember all of Amos, but this is what he showed him. He didn't say, and Amos came and inquired of Yahweh. He said, that's what he showed me. And he showed him what he was going to do to Israel. Mm. And he's like, hold up, they too small. And this was before the exile. So they weren't small then.
Nah.
They weren't small then.
Not the way they are now.
You know what I'm saying? Now we're just a little piece of something. But he was showing them what he's going to do at the end. And so you might as well say Amos pleaded for us. Yeah. Advocated for us.
So many,
you know what I'm saying? And most I showed them, look, this is what your descendants going to go through. That's why Yahweh did what he did. For what he said, the glory of the
glory that was set before him.
That was set before him. Now, he saw we're going to come up out of this mess. You know what I'm saying? Changed. Different understanding, more appreciative.
More appreciative
than what our ancestors were. When they had everything that you know, all the benefits of being Yasharel was set before them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't benefiting nobody now being Yasharel. Not yet. You know what I'm saying?
He said that. He says, man, you think it pleases the Most High to see these other nations glory and go back to their temple in front of their idols and boast how Yasharel is in Zion has been torn down? That's why he had his own angels wreck the city so that they couldn't boast about actually doing it. They went in there and just received the people because the city was destroyed by the Father. Because he said, I'm going to do it, but I ain't going to let the devil exalt and take me out. I'm going to let my guard down.
That's what Jacob prayed.
Yeah.
Said, even if you let my sons fall, even if you choose to let my sons fall, let it not be by the hand of the Canaanites. Let it be by some of your ministers.
Yeah.
Like even if their lives are gonna end, let it not be in this manner. You know, before some uncircumcised jokers.
Yeah,
don't even rock with you. You can't let your enemies defeat your
Because
sons.
then they gonna be more prideful. It's like, yeah, all the pride that we've had against the Most High is now justified. Because it's like we can go in there and take his people out. No,
If he chose, he
allows
opened up. He opened up the city
yeah, he
because
opened
his
it
people
up.
didn't.
That's right.
People weren't appreciative of him.
They said that the four corners of Jerusalem was founded on iron corners that could no man dig up. Once they placed them there, they was there. He had angels break apart those iron corners in each city so that the walls could fall. And then he had an angel, of course, destroy the temple. And let people. Then that same angel that destroyed the temple and caused the earth to open up and take all the sacred vessels in it, so that no man could find it. After that happened, that same angel. Then this is all in Second Baruch. That angel came out. He was like, "All right, enemies. All right, nations. Now you may come in." He made an announcement saying, "Now you can come in and wreck shop or take what we have already laid open for you, Joe."
You know, and it's funny that people like to throw BS out there. Jerusalem was the capital of the kingdom of
Judah.
Okay, I don't even got I just wanted the kingdom of Judah, one of the sons of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. That city is probably the most important city on this planet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For all types of different reasons. Mm-hmm. But consider, why is it, if Yahweh didn't put it on a pedestal, if he didn't put it on a pedestal, what you see in this Torah, in these Old Testaments, in regards to that kingdom, you had Israel, you had Judah. Samaria was the capital of Israel. Yeah, and Jerusalem was the capital of Judah. These are the Most High's chosen people. Now, I don't know where Samaria is now, if it has any significance on the world stage, but you see what they're doing over Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Israel. You know what I'm saying? You know that ain't got nothing to do, the people over there ain't got nothing to do with Yahshua, for real. But that city is so important on a world stage. But the significance of, you said, it was the corners were founded on
iron corners. It's like couldn't nobody get them out. Could break them up. It was impossible. They sent angels down there. First of all, they fashioned it. So how do you put something together and put it in a place where you can't uproot?
How many ancient cities from that time are still around?
Oh.
I mean, I'm sure that's from ruins. And I know Jerusalem ain't in its original state because it was destroyed. You know what I'm saying? But even by name, I'm like Nineveh. Is Nineveh still over there somewhere, or
it's probably changed name because of the conquering of other powerful nations. They come in.
But those structures, I wonder if those structures are anywhere. And I ain't never been over there. I don't know. And you ain't gonna show us but so much on the internet.
One day.
I don't know what that was.
One day. Man, only thing I had left, I was led to read this.
You know what? Yeah.
This chapter out of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus on pride. It goes along with what we've been talking about, because in order to be a servant, to do anything for the Most High, you cannot have pride. You just can't have it, man, and it's abominable to the Most High. So I just want to read a couple of these scriptures in Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 10. I'm starting at verse 5. It says, "In the hand of Elohim is the prosperity of man, and upon the person of the scribe shall he lay his honor," which means the scribe is going to write about whatever the righteous man did. He'll place that on his scribe. But then it says, "Bear not hatred to your neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing at all by injurious practices. Pride is hateful before Elohim and man, and by both does one commit iniquity. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches, got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another." So that's why we have all these multiple nations that are ruling over the earth, because each of these nations practice these unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit. That's why the kingdoms are translated from one people to another. Then there's a question asked: Why is earth and ashes proud? Now consider that question. Why is the earth, which is man, and then ashes, which man becomes when the earth or when everything burns? Why is earth and ashes proud? Meaning you are temporary. You were created. So why are you proud at all? It says, "There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such one sets his own soul to sale, because while he lives, he casts away his bowels. The physician cuts off a long disease, and he that is today a king tomorrow shall die. For when a man is dead, he shall inherit creeping things, beasts, and worms. The beginning of pride is when one departs from Elohim, and his heart is turned away from his maker. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that has it shall pour out abomination, and therefore Yahuwah brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. Yahuwah has cast down the thrones of proud princes and set up the meek in their stead. Yahuwah has plucked up the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly in their place. Yahuwah overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them from the foundations of the earth. He took some of them away and destroyed them, and has made their memorial to cease from the earth. Pride was not made for man, nor furious anger from them that are born of woman. They that fear Yahuwah are a sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. They that regard not the Torah are dishonorable seed, and they that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. Among brethren, he that is chief is honorable, so are they that fear Yahuwah in his eyes. The fear of Yahuwah goes before the obtaining of authority, but roughness and pride is losing thereof. Whether he be rich, noble, or poor, their glory is the fear of Yahuwah. It is not meet to despise the poor man that has understanding, neither is it convenient to magnify a sinful man. Great men and judges and potentates shall be honored, yet there is none of them greater than one that fears Yahuwah. Unto the servant that is wise shall they that are free do service, and he that has knowledge will not grudge when he is reformed. Be not overwise in doing your business, and boast not in yourself in the time of your distress. Better is he that labors and abounds in all things than he that boasts in himself and wants bread. I'm going to stop right there. Just a couple nuggets on not to be prideful and how everything truly comes from Yahuwah. Both prosperity and calamity. Both come from his hand, man. He's in charge of it all. So, heed to the words that were spoken today, man. Take heed of them. And if they spoke to your soul, pray about them, especially if you have questions, man. Never be afraid to ask the Most High your questions or seek his face. And you got to seek him with diligence, man. Don't be impatient because he doesn't answer the first thing you say. He wants to see if you're really real. If he wants to test you to see if your petition is concrete, if it means something. And if that's the case, then honor the Most High by continuing to seek him until you get an answer. Because you know he got it. He just wants to see how real you're going to be.
This is crazy.
What you got?
I'm just looking at, some places in the scriptures it says Elohim. Some places it says God. But in the beginning, where it uses the term God, and the Hebrew for Elohim is not the same everywhere where it says God. The characters aren't the same. I don't even know what made me look at that, but I'm like, Joe, I thought it said Elohim everywhere until I turned to this. It says, you are children to Yahweh, your God. But I was just reading in Amos, thus did Yahweh, Elohim, show me. Now, every time I see God, I say Elohim anyway now.
Right. Yeah.
But I didn't realize that the actual Hebrew, where it says Elohim, is different than where it says God. But Elohim is God.
That's what I thought. That's what my understanding.
I don't know. I ain't gonna go into that right here. That's just something else for me to look at. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Bow your heads, Most High Yahweh. Thank you for this opportunity to chop it up for a little bit. Going to your scriptures, Yah. I reiterate the prayer request that Brad lifted in the beginning, for his family, for my family, for the names that were lifted. Definitely Kenny and Wendell with those tumors on their brain. Yeah, you know what that is. You know how serious that is. I'm not you, but just like the code pray, if it's not your will, that it happens. Either way, I know you're still in control. I'm asking that you perform a miracle in their behalf. Comfort Jody and Anthony. Be with Lamar. Continue to be with Ruth and Jamar as they recover from their brush with COVID. Like Brad said, be with Jennifer and her household, Candace, Michi, all of us individually. This studio, yeah, there's a lot going on. Thank you for showing me what you showed me. Thank you for showing Brad what you showed him. You're still cultivating in us, and thank you for pruning us the way you prune us. cutting off stuff that we thought we might have needed to keep, and allowing things to grow that we may not even want to have nothing to do with. But the experience is needed. Cover us with your Ruach HaKodesh. Keep the hand of the enemy away from us. It's just only going to intensify. Thank you for allowing us to see the little things that would normally irritate us and frustrate us, that you're allowing it to not be as irritating. In my own personal life, thank you for showing me what I need to get a grip on. Thank you for protecting me while I was slipping, while I was going through all the madness that I was putting myself through. Forgive us for all our iniquities, and save us from ourselves. Continue to be with those who are seeking truth. Thank you for allowing us to be 3 years from the lifting of this curse. God, you said you're going to bring us out with great substance, and you're going to judge the nation. You said you're going to show us something. You're going to visit the nation on the third day. And back then, you gave your law. I'm assuming now you're going to reiterate your law. You're going to glorify your name in the sight of the heathen like you said you're going to do. That's what you're doing. That's what you're prepping us for, to glorify your name, and your name in the sight of the heathen. Not the name of the Lord or the name of God, the name of Yahweh, who is Elohim. Thank you for that. Thank you for entrusting us with that responsibility. And forgive us for not being, well, we are, you know what we are. We may not feel like we're worthy. We may not feel like whatever the case is, but you picked us for a reason. You knew all this before it even happened. You knew what we was going to go through last week, right before we came in here. You know we were going to go through next week, and you still picked us. You're still rocking with us. Continue to mold us. If anybody is attempting some sideways mess with the shamanic flow that you entrusted to us, man, dog, whatever it is they got going on with it, let it not prosper at all, destroy the whole industry. Which if someone if it's the enemy just playing with my Gmail like he do, then forgive me for being presumptuous. But if somebody took it upon themselves to deceitfully go into my email and remove something, whoever that individual is and whatever they're associated with, destroy it with extreme prejudice. This is my prayer in Yahweh's name. Amen.
Amen. This is Real Talk 101, Devil Exposed, on Sunday afternoon, 2 to 4. Till the next time we meet, may Yah bless and keep you.
Seek truth and not the traditions of men.